Music City welcomes back the beautiful noise of stock cars as we get things started once again. It's all about the Integrity Octane Series here on Tuesday nights, and after a month's worth of a break, we're back with points paying racing. Nashville Superspeedway is going to be the host of round 16 this season, and qualifying's underway with the number 36 machine. Jacob Fife scored on provisional pole. Over 20 drivers have arrived for the return race of this series. 15 races down, and including this one, 15 races to go. Great to have you all with me as we get things started here in Tennessee. As always, I'm your host for tonight's broadcast, David Kreutz. Nashville Superspeedway making its first appearance on this year's schedule in both the Integrity Octane Series and the Ignite Series. So we're looking to light the fuse at this track with a good race. 150 laps are scheduled for tonight, and we've already gone through halfway on our time allotted to qualifying. Looking pretty good, Jacob Fife is. He scored in fourth at the moment, but it's Nicholas Ward in the number 97 provisional pole, now going his way by 31 thousandths of a second. Ward gonna back it into pit road. He'll be done and done. Despawns the car as Alan Dobbs is done with his qualifying run as well, currently on the front row. 14 drivers have taken times, but don't leave out drivers like Victor Avila Felix, Don Stevenson, and your all-star race winner, Seth Noel. New number, new paint scheme. It's an all-new look for the same successful drivers. The number 9 machine comes down to the inside of the front stretch this time through. He's looking to go up to the top of the board. First lap puts him in the 14th position. He'll be right in the mix with the best of them already. Looking to get a little bit better. This time by down the backstretch, looking to make some momentum up to a speed of 175 miles an hour before backing it down. Now I'm going to rock it to the inside of the circus. All concrete track here in Nashville. Looks a bit different, and the reason is it is a bit different. It's a new twist on the traditional intermediate platform, but for Seth Well, he's going to find himself in a bit of a troublesome position. 8th on the qualifying charts. A little bit of the field he'll have to dig through as the 97 and Nicholas Ward continues to stay at the top of the chart. Only 5 drivers remain without putting a time lap in. Going back to Mike Mannix in the number 30. See whether or not these drivers in the back choose to take a time as Seth Well straightens out the car. Almost got it lost. And as the number 9 comes down to the inside of turn 1 once again, qualifying all but over besides any surprises, that's Cody Smith on your screen. And with that in mind, we'll have a bit of extra time to show you your starting lineup for tonight's event. The number 18 carrying the Next Level Racing banner, a proud partner of this series, the champion of the Octane Series, will get a sim rig worth $2,000 at the end of this championship tour as the grand prize this season. Keep an eye out for the overall standings. We'll have a standings watch after every race besides this one for the remainder of the season. The playoffs coming up soon. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to the remainder of this season. It's going to be all about seeing who has it and who does not when the final 15 races get on their way. And with that in mind, let's kick it off the only way these races have been kicked off. The starting grid, the formation lap, and see who grabbed that coveted pole position. So without further ado, we're back from our summer break. It is on here in the Octane Series, and tonight we see round 16 from Nashville's Superspeedway. Provisional pole is going to become a real pole for the 97 machine. Nicholas Ward takes a strong start to this part of the tour as the number 97 puts his Coors machine on the first row of the grid as your pole sitter. 29.715 for the man at the 97 as Alan Dobbs is right beside him. 29.746 for the man in that number 05. Sam Needle going to be inside of row number 2, a strong qualifier, and it looks like it will show once again. Number 2 machine goes third with a 29.747. Cody Smith carrying the Next Level Racing banner, defending Integrity Racing League champion, going to be in the 4th spot outside of row number 2, and he'll have Don Stevenson right behind him to round out your top 5. 47 machine, the Chevy Camaro, put there with a 29.799. Ross Cato, strong half of the first, strong second quarter, shall we say, and he's looking to carry that momentum to the remainder of the season. 6th place, 29.802 with Kyle Trudell, your only debutant of this leg of the tour. It's not the entire season. He's came halfway in. Maybe he's going to be able to make a bang. And nevertheless, lucky sevens, maybe that's the case. 7 machine, 7th place with a 29.817. All-Star race winner Seth Well going to be 8th on the board with a 29.871, with Jacob Fife 5 thousandths behind in 9th, and Ryan Farrell with a 29.88 in the 10th spot to round out that top 10. Going from there, going to be Guillermo Alvarez in 11th and Brad Patton there in 12th, separated by about 0.5 of a second they are, and Bobby Ross coming hot off the heels of his most recent and his first podium. He'll be starting in 13th inside row number 7. Tom Wetmore winning his driver of this season so far, 14th with a 29.98, and Kyle Cooper finds himself in 15th with Jorge Canales in 16th, Victor Avila Felix in 17th, and Matt Jonas in 18th. Final man to take a time. From there on out, Colin Gidman scored on iRacing with their 19th qualifier, and Trevor Trago with the man who rounds out your top 20. Kevin Matt scored in 21st, Mike Bannock scored in 22nd, and Randy Flash will round out the grid here in round 16 from Nashville Superspeedway. Your starting grid, 23 drivers, and the 97 will lead them to the green. We're watching once again with the number 18. The warm-up is on its way for the first time since late May, and with that in mind, these drivers are looking to get a bit more in control, speed. They're looking for handling, looking for the best in a long run and a short run at once. 5 minutes won't give you much a long run, but if you can extract that time and use it rightly, maybe you'll be able to find something. Rightly so for the drivers at the front of the field so far this season, and tonight they hope to stay there. Maybe we'll see some shuffles in the power of these machines. Been a month and then some away. Some drivers maybe getting some more practice in different leagues, more time on the sim. Others might have had to step away knowing they have nothing scheduled or stuff more important in the sim for these guys. That's for good reason. Nevertheless, we might see some changes in who's quick and who is not. Sam Nito is looking really good so far. He was in the top 3 in qualifying, looking to be the first man here on speed in second practice, and with 150 laps just ahead of us, maybe he's got both short run speed and some long run stuff under that hood of the Miller Lite number 2. Well, I wouldn't say Miller Lite per se. Before Miller Lite got advertised with the Blue Deuce, it was Rusty Wallace and his number 2 machine for Penske Racing all those years ago. Now, Rusty Wallace did not win his only championship with Penske, but he's best known for that number 2 and all the success they shared for over a decade's worth in that seat. Nevertheless, tonight, the number 2, piloted by Sam Nito, looking to carry that legacy of success as he takes it on the backstretch once again. Seth Noel on his way too. He's in the Chevy Camaro Napa know-how machine, and it's a bit of a different look. Metallic blue, very nice looker there, and it's going to be a bit different from most Chase Elliott-inspired schemes that you see on the day-to-day basis. Now, with that difference in mind, is it going to affect the speed of Seth Noel? Unlikely. He's second right now on the board in warm-up. Maybe qualifying was a fluke in a bad way for the man in that number 9. Tom Wetmore has not made every race this season, but he's currently tied for the winningest spot. Number 51, looking to turn it up in the second half of the tour, practicing burnouts before the race is over. Maybe he's a bit too confident, but we don't know. He's won races while wrecked on pit road before. This might just be a sign of good luck for him. Now, Sam Nito, knowing warm-up is done, finds himself the fastest man here in second practice, and we're going to get ready to see the main event in full speed. Practice is over. Let's get to the starting grid here in Music City. And all the drivers despawn from the circuit. It's a smoke show left behind, but it'll be immediately cleaned up as now the track lays dormant. Alan Dobbs looks to be the first man to join into this final iteration of the session. Now, we're all ready for some great racing. Alvarez is going to be in the middle of the pack. Looks like Don Stevenson's going to be caught up in the front of it. And Nicholas Ward, your pole sitter in that number 97, already ahead of every one of these drivers. And as we look at the majority of the field, most drivers already lined up. Familiar faces, familiar paint schemes. Only one brand new driver in Kyle Trudell. So keep an eye out for that number 7. See how he races. Strong qualifying effort to kick off his tenure here in the Integrity Racing League. Good stuff all around for the number 7 so far, hoping to make a good first impression as he's racing against many rookies in this campaign. Guys like Bobby Ross made their debut midway through the first half of the season and have turned to formidable competitors week in, week out. So don't expect anything negative per se from the new guys. I'm sure they'll fit in quite well as we get things going. Once again, iRacing official pace car gonna lead him off pit road this time by. Let's get things going in Music City. And as the drivers roll off of pit road that time by, 97 gonna stay down on pit road. Looks like the high side drivers are gonna go onto the track. 97. That Coors machine has been up front many times, but not able to take a victory so far in this season. Plagued by hardware malfunctions and overall inconsistencies in the way his sim rig has performed. That's been his big Achilles heel all season long. Driver performance has been there. He just has to make it to the checkered flag if he wants the chance to take it home for a win. Now, with all the first half behind him, maybe there's a chance to turn over a new leaf and become a brand new competitor, as we only have about a half lap's time until the race gets on its way. A mile and a third, the distance of Nashville Superspeedway. We will cover that distance 150 times. The sun will set as the night goes on, but it's young so far. Welcome back to the Octane Series. The second half of 2023 is underway as we're green in the Nashville Superspeedway, led by Nicholas Ward. As they come around to conclude lap 1, big changes already. Alan Dobbs able to take the lead with Sam Neal charging in for second. Nicholas Ward set up in a 2-for-1 pass, and now it looks like his efforts have been discounted. He'll be outside of the podium in due time if these drivers keep up that pace. But Donald Stevenson now caught up with Cody Smith. Side by side the moment up in front as they're 3 wide in the middle of the field. Ross, Ward, and Farrell. Looks like it's going to be the 47 who drops down the inside line as well. Growing pains for the 47 in the second half of the tour as he fades back big all the way down outside the top 10 and now fighting to stay alive in the top 15. Bad news for Don Stevenson, but it looks like his car is all right. We'll keep on going and hopefully be able to recover those positions as the night goes on. Brad Patton representing a new sponsor, McConey Setup Shop, the official setup shop of NASCAR, and it looks like he'll be running the same setup shop as the driver in the number 37, not too far behind. So drivers, new sponsors, new paint schemes. It looks like right now the pecking order is largely the same, except for Kyle Trudell, his first race of the season, his first race of the year here in the Integrity Racing League, and he's looking good so far. He's got the league owner right behind him in Jacob Fife, and right now he's fighting our defending series champion in Cody Smith, who is just ahead. Stage break at lap 60. That's the only caution flag we expect to have unless there is any incident on the circuit. We've seen races go caution-free, bar the stage caution before, and we might just see it again. Right now, most guys spaced out, looking to the back of the field. They're all nice and easy, packed into the bottom line, save for Bobby Ross. Ross going to be able to stay up high there as Tom Wetmore charges down to the inside, tries to take a piece of him. Can't make it stick. Now Wetmore going to have to let him get that momentum and push right by Bobby Ross back in the single file train, as it looks like nobody making a move just yet. Nashville Superspeedway, very hard to pass. We went to it recently in the NASCAR Cup Series, and Ross Chastain able to get his first win in almost a year, fending off the hard-charging Martin Truex Jr. It looks like the air, a little different than most tracks. You just can't make a pass even if you are clearly quicker. But look who just did. Nicholas Ward, 97, going to take back all that we said before. He's now looking to get that race victory for himself once again, and he's now charging the back end of that number 2. It's the battle of the beers. Miller first, Coors in second, and right now they are pulling away from the pack. Alan Dobbs going to stay in the podium positions, but he is getting further and further behind. Now the Cody Smith machine tries to lunge down to the inside, can't make it stick. Next Level Racing's number 18 will have to stick to where he is, at least for the time being. And an action-packed first few laps here, but you see most drivers are not side by side at the moment. Now it's going to be Don Stevenson losing another position. That'll put him back in 14th. It has not been the run he's liked to see at all out of that number 47 machine. Up inside the top 5, battling to get in the podium, and then looks like he just lost it at like corner number 4. No noticeable damage on that machine, but he's been able to keep himself on the track. That might be the only positive so far. Fading back on the running order now, down to the 15th position. That is not good for a driver who's lost almost 10 spots already. Now we see someone go way down. That's going to be Ross Cato. Cato in the grass going to be able to save it. Looks like he went down on his own accord, but that is bad news. Luckily, he'll stay on the apron, not hit anyone. Now he's going to be ironically battling with Don Stevenson. He loses a lot of time just like that. Let's get an instant replay on the matter and find out just what happened to the man in that number 12. And Ross Cato, he loses a lot of time as we take it back exactly 1 lap on the matter. You can see right now, Ross Cato battling with Jacob Fife, and it looks like he makes the same mistake as Stevenson. No, he gets contact from Jacob Fife. Fife sends him down, and it looks like the 12 machine able to stay in control. But all that time lost is going to come back to bite him all throughout, both in the short term, my apologies there, and the long term. Looks like he got us a bit lost for words. I'm sure he was as well, but right now as we take the feedback live, number 12 machine is still racing. His car mostly clean. 10 laps in, Sam Needle leads the way, and for a packed crowd here in the Nashville Superspeedway, sun's already beginning to set. You can see the front stretch is the shadier portion of the racetrack. The back stretch still has a bit of sunlight poking through just beyond the stands and all the buildings that lie around this track in Music City. Nicholas Ward taking it down the backstretch, looking nice and clean as well. His 97 machine. Top 2, still the battle of the beers. Not too far behind, Cody Smith, and your debutant in the number 7 machine, Kyle Trudell, has worked his way up to 4th, while Seth Noel has worked his way up into 5th. Noel, your defending Integrity Racing League winner. He won the All-Star Race and the $50 bonus that went along with it. He's now looking to get another win, and this time he wanted to be paying out a points total. Not just the money that matters for a championship. Getting more wins to make sure you are locked into the playoffs. They will be absolutely necessary. Right now, Seth looking solid to get yet another. Trudell right in front of him, and this is the first time they've raced together here. Maybe we'll see something out of the ordinary, but the number 7 has not given up a spot so far. He might just have to lose his first position in this race, and that he will. Well, going to be able to get out onto the inside line and make it work. Pouncing on the opportunity, he'll now be in 4th. Cody Smith is in 3rd, and the top 2 remain the same. Closest battle on the racing circuit as it stands. We go back to the men in the middle of the pack, Bobby Ross and Ryan Farrell. Same paint schemes as last leg of the tour, but the number 83 of Guillermo Alvarez and likewise his teammate Jorge Canales, brand new looks for that team. The 83 and the 84 ran by Red Bull Racing in their short tenure in NASCAR, and it looks like it's a bit of a tribute to that era as the number 83 and 84 carry the energy drink on the sides of their cars. It's a well-known fact for most fans who have been around the NASCAR scene that they were in fact a team, Red Bull Racing, in the mid 2000s, even the early 2010s. They got a few wins with guys like Brian Vickers, Casey Kane, had guys like Scott Speed and AJ Allmendinger at one point, but few fans know that Gunther Steiner, the principal of the Haas F1 team right now, was the team principal of the NASCAR Red Bull Racing organization back in the late 2000s. Definitely a different place than we'd expect him to be from the trip down to the stock car scene all the way up to F1, and that's not all too uncommon for the Haas F1 team. Christian Fittipaldi, track champion, Hickory Motor Speedway. A lot of history in NASCAR that goes right up to F1, but right now, making history these two are as they're cutting their way through the field, and they're making gains 16 through out of 150. Top 5 drivers all going to be spread out by just about a tenth. Well, a tenth past a second, that is. Right now, the only 2 drivers within a tenth of a second are your top 2. Rest of these guys either spaced out big or really close to one another. It is nowhere in between. Take a look at this battle. Kevin Matz, never a qualifier, always a racer. Going down to the inside on Bobby Ross. Number 44 machine's got the edge for just a moment, but the inside line has more momentum through the corners, and it is dangerous for anyone who gets caught outside of that groove. So far, positions have been determined up front and in the back based on this momentum down low. Kevin and Matt can't seem to be able to use it to clear just yet, but he'll work his way down to the inside line once again as Ross goes way up the order and goes way up the circuit. Now number 44 is going to be a bit of trouble as it looks like Kevin Matz gets right by him. Bobby Ross still battling side by side there with guys like Don Stevenson. Looks like it's all not lost, but he did lose one spot, and it's crucial as he gets pulled out of the train on the inside. Up front, though, they're single file. This seems to be the only side-by-side battle as Don Stevenson down on the inside looking to get it done on Ross. The sun shines once more, and 18 laps in. It looks like it's going to be Don Stevenson looking for a bit more as he gets back inside near top 13 for just a moment. Patton down to the inside of Kevin Match tries to make it a 2-for-1 once again. It looks like he'll be able to stick it in, but just barely not clear on that number 50, at least until now. And it looks like he's going to be able to make that move very quickly as we go back up front. Tom Wetmore now sees a battle right behind him. That's Jacob Fife, Guillermo Alvarez. Alvarez going to be down low, and Jacob Fife going to be up high, 19 laps out of 150. It looks like Jacob Fife able to clear the number 83 and get back in the prime position to go chase for more, notably and namely Tom Wetmore, who's looking to get back in the victory lane himself. For a driver who does have the most wins in this series and this season so far, it's been a bit of a slump he's been on the past few races leading up to the summer break. Seth Well dominance has become much more prominent night after night, and now the 51 mired in the mid-pack does not want to lose another opportunity to go for that win. Seth Well able to claw right by him. He's up to third, but Wetmore is stuck in seventh, and with all the trouble the drivers are having passing consistently here in Nashville, he's only going to lose more time the way it's gone as they are now onto their 21st lap of 150. Nito leads 0.2 of a second back. Now Nicholas Ward losing time, but still the closest man to your race leader as Seth Well remains in the podium positions. Last man in that bunch up. Number 9 machine, number 97. It's not a battle of beers here, but it is a battle of throwback paint schemes to one racing family. Bill Elliott on that number 97 machine, a throwback to his days for Melling and his time in number 9, and Seth Well with a Chase Elliott type paint scheme. The name rail says Chase Elliott in this case as well, clear as day in that case. Nevertheless, top 3 drivers, the closest they've been all race long. Seth continues to cut down the gap. Nicholas Ward maintaining a solid distance. We might just see multiple drivers up front battling to get that lead, or maybe more drivers enter the second place hunt. Cody Smith still in fourth. He's got a sizable distance to cut back on, but if there is a mistake ahead, he should be able to make something happen. And 23 laps in, Alan Dobbs still remains in the top 5. Kyle Trudell fading back a bit more. He's now going to be in the 6th spot, still looking solid in front of his qualifying position in 7th at the very least. Tom Wetmore trying to change that. Of course, getting that spot would be great for him in trying to get at least the top 5 out of tonight's race. And as it stands, we get a multi-car battle once again with the Guillermo Alvarez watching as now Brad Patton is as well. Ryan Farrell goes down to the inside line on Jacob Fife. Fife's got himself a bit of a troublesome spot, and it looks like he'll not be able to work out of it. Not good for Fife, very good for Ryan Farrell. He puts himself in position number 8, and now he's chasing down Tom Wetmore the same way Jacob was just a few laps ago. They'll all work their way up to the second group, but Alvarez gets the better of Jacob Fife just like that. Not able to make the pass stick, but got close to making something happen, that's for certain. Just not able to execute on what was offered. Now Farrell goes down to the inside line. Once again, Tom Wetmore going to stay up high. He's still good, but not going to be clear. 93 is. Side by side the line. Looks like Farrell is now scored in 7th. And it looks like he'll be able to take it deep to the inside. Try to lunge it through. And with the support of Jacob Fife and Guillermo Alvarez right behind him, be able to take that spot and take it with ease. Now Fife's got an opportunity once again to go for Tom Wetmore. He doesn't take it just yet. He'll have to be a bit more patient if he wants to make that move stick for the long term. Backs up the run, lets Wetmore drive it very deep into the corner and hopes to get a better exit. The exit he did not want to get. He just did. 27 laps in, does not work out as a move for the position. They're still battling in the thick of it, but look who's getting closer. Seth Well's in third at the moment, and he's now got Nicholas Ward right there on him. They're getting close, maybe a bit too close for comfort, as the number 9 dives deep and now has a chance to make it work. Just like that, Seth Well climbing up through the qualifying grid. He's had to do his work tonight, but he's already looking to be in the second spot in just a lap's time. He'll dive it into the inside of the corner once again, and it is like clockwork. You get that inside line, you get that position, and Seth Well shows that's the case once again. Well, number 9 up to position number 2. And just like that, the number 2 machine sees a bit more pressure as the number 2 has an 1/8 of a second lead. It might begin to dissipate here as the fastest driver on the track is now in the runner-up spot. And looking throughout the field, it's still a big gap between Newell and Sam Nito. But one thing is for certain, if that number 9 machine has momentum, he will carry it all throughout the race. He's already built up a head full of steam. He can keep on using it if he wants to make up more time. And 29 laps in, getting to the halfway point of this first stage, Nito just wants to hold on until that lap 60 mark and maybe have a chance to reevaluate anything he needs to do with that machine as soon as he gets to that breaking point, at least breaking up the race, giving every driver a new chance to work on their strategy. Looking on back, Guillermo Alvarez going to see that it's going to be Tom Wetmore who tries to keep in front of him, and it's not looking too good for the number 51. Fading down to the 8th spot, it looks like the 83 is all over him, and Brad Patton is too. Don Stevenson able to reclaim 11th, getting by not just Ross Cato, but the struggling Jacob Fife. Now in the 13th spot in that number 36. He was up there in the top 10 for just a moment, and it looks like that moment is long since past. Now he'll be fading back, lucky to stay inside the top 15. Number 31, the lap marker we just hit, and the number 36 struggling once more. Brad Patton now at the back end of a 3-car battle for the 8th spot. Alvarez got it, Tom Wetmore does not, and Brad Patton's looking to take at least one spot from the both of them. It could be a win for him if he does so, at least in terms of this battle, as Wetmore gets moved up the track. Now Brad Patton's got a shot to out of the inside. And 32 laps through, 150 on the board. Brad Patton gets it by. Nice move there. Tom Wetmore going to have to rethink his line and his approach. In the most recent laps, he has fallen back and fallen back big. Shades of Jacob Fife. Fife up there in 7th, and he's fallen back into 13th. But Tom Wetmore got that 7th spot from him. It looks like he's fallen back all the same. Early aggression might not give long-term results here in Nashville, and these drivers are learning as they go. That's another example of which is 33 laps in. Wetmore now struggling to stay in front of Don Stevenson. Good recovery for Stevenson so far, certainly more he'd like to get out of the night, but as it stands, able to keep himself in the battle for the top 10 when we once thought the top 15 was unattainable. He's got good speed right now, and it's good enough speed to lunge down the inside line once again, make it work, try to get it right by the 51. Coming off of corner number 4, that he does, and now Don's got himself position number 10, looking to get into the single digits as Brad Patton battles Guillermo Alvarez. Alvarez up high. It looks like that inside line trick is going to work its magic once again. Great move. Number 1 finds himself now in the 8th spot. Ross Cato looking to make it once again a battle for position number 10. He's now trying to lunge his way into the number 47. Looks like when certain drivers have that momentum, other drivers don't, and it's almost a back and forth way of thinking. Some drivers looking to turn on the aggression later. Some drivers have been on since the very beginning, and that's why guys like Ross Cato were able to just come back in a moment's notice. Did not work that time by, however. He is by Tom Wetmore, so maybe that's a sign he's gotten a little bit more for that number 47 than what we just saw. Guillermo Alvarez able to make it out there for the 9th spot. Brad Patton's going to be in 8th. Ryan Farrell 7th, and now he's working on your rookie of the race, Kyle Trudell, 6th place at the moment. Number 7 machine, he qualified in 7th, and he's had a fantastic run so far. 36 in at 150, maybe more in line future success in this league as he finds himself working down the backstretch without any issue. The number 93 trying to get right there with him. And as we look onto pit road, Matt Jonas down 2 laps. He's been on pit road for a minute, no noticeable damage. And we'll take a look a minute back to find out just why that is the case. First driver put down at least a lap. Looks like the 15 went down. This is the moment he did go down, but we'll take it back even further to find out why this is the matter. You can see he limped it down a pit road, and that actually only shows us more of him coming through. Taking it back one more time to find out what happened. Number 15 working it through 1 and 2, and it doesn't look like a problem just yet. And it looks like it will be. Bangs up on that backstretch wall, and that's what's going to send Matt Jonas down to pit road, the first man in, and Victor Avila Felix now in trouble. As we take a look on live, it looks like Avila Felix down to pit road himself. This might be a strategic call, though, as the number 27 machine does not go down to pit road. He was on the pit access, but did not choose to go in. I'm not sure what's going on as we come back to yet another troublesome case. Number 27 is limping around the circuit and much slower than anyone else. Hit the backstretch wall, down to the grass, and a nasty hit on the infield retainer. That's going to be the reason we see another driver out of leading contention. Victor Avila Felix hits the wall, hits it bad. He almost goes down to pit road, but keeps on driving. Composite body takes a beating once more, and 39 laps in out of 150. Now the number 27 makes it through as your race leader makes it by once again. That time through, Sethwell puts down a 30.535. He's a tenth of a second faster than Sethwell, just enough to keep himself in the lead. As we see a battle in the podium positions now. Look at it and go. It's going to be Cody Smith making a move down to the inside and trying to make it happen real quick. 18 machine side by side as they come through. How's that? We take a look on the inside of that number 97. See what it is like battling within the cockpit. And 97 sees that number 18 get right by him. Nicholas Ward's got to think what he can do in this situation. Putting the power down, shifting gears up to the 5th. He's going 8,500 revs a minute. That equates to about 170 miles an hour. Now he'll have to work his way back up to the 18. It just looks like Cody Smith saved up his stuff for later. Now looking to make a late charge up in the final few laps of the stage. 41 laps in out of 150. Your only scheduled caution of tonight will come out at lap 60. So with that in mind, we see another battle, and Alan Dobbs and Ryan Farrell. Farrell going to be all the way down to the bottom. Alan Dobbs going to be up high. They'll be side by side coming out of the stripe once again. And Alan Dobbs does not have the position. The low line has been working miracles for every driver so far. Maybe it's going to keep doing that, or maybe as the night goes on, the track will develop just a bit differently from what we've seen. Nighttime is coming up real soon here in the virtual Nashville Superspeedway, and we've seen drivers and races change in the blink of an eye. When that sun sets, sometimes the race gets flipped on its head. Conditions have been mostly constant as the night's gone on so far. However, the iRacing session has been set to change time at a 2-time multiplier, which means that an hour's worth of change in temperature and condition will happen in 30 minutes, and 2 hours worth will happen in 1 hour. So the sun is expected to set before this race concludes. We'll see whether or not that happens before the lap 100 marker, when estimates say it should occur. Right now, though, the number 2 machine not worried about the future changes at all, making sure everything goes right in the present. Number 2's got an 1/8 of a second lead nevertheless, and it looks like Sethwell not able to claw back all too much on the number 2 just yet. These two drivers putting on a clinic as Cody Smith got by for 3rd, and Nicholas Ward remains inside the top 4. Kyle Trudell now going to be backed off into the 7th spot as Brad Patton and Don Stevenson slowly but surely come up to the front of the field. Nicholas Ward going to be in trouble once again regarding hardware and connection. He's not, according to us, with these drivers on the leaderboard anymore. Not quite sure why. He's fading back all the way. 18th he's now scored in, and it looks like Nicholas Ward suffering another hardware malfunction will disconnect from the race once again from 4th on the racing charts. Heartbreaker for the pole sitter as he's officially scored 1 lap down. He's got trouble, and it looks like he's going to lose a lot of time before we get to that caution in about 15 laps worth. Don Stevenson now going to be promoted into 7th, getting by Brad Patton. Kyle Trudell now going to be in 6th, as Ryan Farrell still fights side by side with Alan Dobbs. They're still fighting for that 4th position. Dobbs down low, once again puts a lunge in on it, and it looks like he's able to take it easily. Ryan Farrell going to have to stick with what he's got right now and remain in 5th. But he's not going to remain content. He'll go down to the inside line once again. Rough up Dobbs. They're fighting side by side once more. And just like that, the battle remains active. 93 down low once more. Alan Dobbs is going to have to fight back on that backstretch. That's the only choice he's got. Take a look on forward. The man in that number 05. It looks like the 93 already got by him. The quarter panel used last lap. Will they use it again? Looks like for now, they will not. The sun beaming in the eyes of these drivers, and it won't need to be used. Ryan Farrell used a lot of time and momentum on that big slide off of corner number 4. Looks like he's not working out the tire grip real well. Just like that, Alan Dobbs works his way down to the inside line of the corner once again. Not able to make the pass, but he's back in contention to keep up with that spot. The battle for 4th, when it looked like it was open and shut, it got open wide. Once again, Ryan Farrell definitely drifting through these corners as of recent. Very bad example last time around. He almost got loose once again, able to save it this time by he's still working actively on the handling in this number 93. But Dobbs dives it down low. He'll make that door go open once again. No pass, no problem. He'll just keep working at it. And right behind him, we're going to see a big battle. Side by side, Ross Cato and Guillermo Alvarez. They're working at it as well. Number 12 machine going to be right down there, and it looks like the 83 stuck up high. Losing that high side, well, that's no problem, but losing that low side is a big one, and it looks like for Guillermo Alvarez machine, he will experience it. Now, multiple cars going 2 by 2. Kyle Trudell going to try to take it 3 wide for a moment. It does not stick. He's going to try to get that momentum off the backstretch. It does look to work that time, and Ryan Farrell barely able to avoid it as he gets pushed now by the rookie in the number 7. Alan Dobbs now sees a 2 by 2 battle right behind him. He's able to take that 4th spot, and he's going to try to run with it until the end of this stage. 10 laps remaining before this stage is over, and it's been Sam Nito leading every lap of this race up to this point. Fantastic drive for him so far, with Seth Well in that 2nd spot, Cody Smith in 3rd, and Alan Dobbs in 4th. Don Stevenson now in a 5th. Side by side again, the rookie Kyle Trudell going to be down low. Brad Patton up high. Patton working wonders on that high side so far to race. This one, it's been all about the low line, except for the methods used by the number 1. Maybe he'll use another tactic again, and it looks like he will. The number 1 jets out and gets the leap on Kyle Trudell. Now Kyle going to be back in the 8th position. Come down the backstretch this time by less action. More drivers up in one line as we see now Jacob Fife battling Tom Wetmore for the 11th position. Fife down low, number 51 machine going to be staying up high as they come down side by side. Jacob Fife has that edge. Looks like he'll take that spot as they come down in a timing and scoring loop at the start finish. Sam Nito leading by a 2.5 seconds at the moment over Seth Well. Well has clawed through every driver except for one so far, and the leader in that number 2 machine looks like he made the right choice to get on his way and be aggressive early with the lap times. While Seth Well did look early on like he'd be able to claw him back down, it looks like for now it just is not working out. Maybe the pit strategy will level the playing field and give us a different look on who's quick and who is not. But as it stands, that number 2 machine absolutely got to be happy with the performance he's put up so far. He leads, and leads by a distant margin. No driver in frame with him, but there's a whole frame of drivers still battling in the front spots of this race. Stevenson works his way down low, trying to get bonus stage points right now, and it looks like he's got himself an option to get a few more. Side by side with Alan Dobbs coming down to lap number 55. 47 going to be right down low, and Alan Dobbs going to be right up there with them. And don't make a mistake, you could see a pass from Brad Patton or Ryan Farrell. They're both there as well. Now, 4 drivers going for 1 spot and 2 drivers looking from the wings. They're waiting as well. We could see multiple drivers involved in an incident, but so far it's been a clean and green race. Don't expect to see all too much in regards to wrecking. They want to make it down to the first stage completion in one piece. Sam Nito knows that all too well. He leads the field, but right now these drivers 7 seconds away from your leader are battling like it's the last lap, and for good reason. Every bonus point matters in the playoff race, and Ryan Farrell gonna try to stick it 3 wide this time by. Does not work. Risky it looked to be, but he'll fade back once again and stay right with him on the front stretch. Now it's 3 wide. Ryan Farrell down low looking for a 3-lane maneuver, and he gets it. Big pass, 3 wide, and there's a wreck. Brad Patton goes around, and I believe that will bring out the stage yellow. 57 laps in, and it looks like the stage will end under caution. Brad Patton, yellow flag number 1. Let's take an instant replay. And that's aggression racing for the stage break here. Exactly what we expected to see in a situation like this. Looking on at half speed, they were 3 wide right in front of Patton, and Ryan Farrell took it gutsy down to the inside. Stevenson might have miscalculated, rubbed up Dobbs, and the number 1 goes down to the apron, makes an aggressive merge up, taps that 47. 47 proceeds to send him right around. 58 laps in, Patton right up to the wall, and hopefully for his sake, minor damage. He makes contact, scuffs up that left side, my apologies, as he hits it from the right side of the track on the retaining wall. Just like that, the number 1 in trouble, and that stage racing aggression brings an early end to the first stage of the race. Now down to pit road. This might determine who wins the stage here. We've got ourselves our first pit road battle of the night, and it comes 58 laps in. Drivers coming through all at once. Nicholas Ward going to be allowed to get all the laps back he needs. Brad Patton misses pit entry. That's going to be a penalty. Luckily for him, happens under yellow rather than happening under green. Nicholas Ward scored 8 laps down as Randy Fish and Matt Jonas are retirees on the night. Let's see who wins off pit road here, as we see many drivers making their way around. Taking a look at it, it looks like Alan Dobbs got the best seat in the house right now. Of course, Ward's still driving his heart out here, and as they come around to the exit of pit road, Sethwell does get beaten by the man of the number 2 machine. Sam Nito barely wins off pit road, and more drivers come through. Take an instant replay on the matter. We're going to have to send that one back 30 seconds. Unbelievably close finish off of pit road. Take a look at this as we get the super slow-mo up here. This could be the race-winning maneuver, as Sam Nito barely able to get out in time there on Sethwell. Seth was diving in, and just like that, able to make it stick. He wins off pit road, followed by Newell, then Cody Smith, Ryan Farrell, Ross Cato, Don Stevenson, Kyle Trudell, Guillermo Alvarez, Jacob Fife, Alan Dobbs, Tom Wetmore, then Trevor Trago, then the Kyle Cooper machine with Jorge Canales and Kevin Matz to round out your Sweet 16, 59 laps in. And with that said and done, we're now coming down to lap number 60, and we have made it there, and it looks like for the man in that number 2 machine, Sam Nito, he will be a stage winner. Checkers and yellows of sorts, as the stage break has come, and it will go very soon, but it is Sam Nito, winner of stage 1 tonight. Rest of the race, no scheduled yellow flags. It's the checkered flag from this point onward. Nito a stage winner. Shortly thereafter, you'll see he's followed by Sethwell and Cody Smith right there in the 3rd position, representing Next Level Racing. As always, premier partner of the Integrity Racing League, nextlevelracing.com, for dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best, always providing high quality sim racing performance equipment since 2009. Visit nextlevelracing.com for more information about how you can get your own Next Level Racing equipment, be it a simulator, be it a wheel, a partnership with Ferrari very recently announced, and even their brand new DD Light Cop Kit. It is is a tabletop of sorts. You can carry it around. It is portable. It is affordable. It's the best choice for all sim racers at the moment. If you'd like to purchase your own brand new setup, visit nextlevelracing.com. We'll be right back after a brief message brought to you by our friends at Next Level Racing. And that is your first Next Level Racing promotional break of the night. Gotta thank our friends at Next Level Racing for their continued support of the Integrity Racing League. Sam Nito looking to put himself in. We got a wreck already. Wreck already. We will not be going green. Dobbs, Alvarez, big hit for Ryan Farrell. And we are green, but it's already a wreck. And we'll have to take an immediate look back. 62 laps in, and there's a caution due to be out, I'm certain. There it goes. Wrecking before we went green. Let's find out what happened. And an instant replay on what just occurred here. It was just before the green flag fell, back-to-back yellows, and for the reason being, Ryan Farrell did not go. He captures a few drivers. Stevenson, a hard hit. Alvarez, Dobbs, looks like the 73 of Kyle Cooper. Huge hit for these drivers. And now we'll be restacking them and re-racking them once again. Just like that, we're not done yet. Caution flag returns to the circuit. And so, after almost 60 laps of green flag racing, we go back yellow just before we began our second stage. So with that in mind, it still is Sam Nito leading. Cody Smith going to be there in second now. Ross Cato's in third. Kyle Trudell is in fourth. And Seth Well rounds out the top 5. It's a huge change in just one moment's time, and just like that, it is Sam Nito who has a different cast of characters right behind him. 63 ended at 150. Pace car is back out. We'll see whether or not this is a shortened yellow flag. Back-to-back yellows, not what you like to see, but it looks like it will only take out one driver to pit road immediately. Kyle Cooper still on the track. Looks like he's going to opt to go in with Don Stevenson, and Alan Dobbs is going to follow him, and so will Ryan Farrell. So we're going to have a few drivers down to pit road to repair damage immediately thereafter. Sun is setting, and it's an orange glow cast upon Nashville Superspeedway now. Race got slowed down once again there. Hopefully we don't see anything more like that. That's the lack of aggression, to say the least, as it looks like the 9-3 might have misshifted, getting himself going for that restart. So we don't have our first restart in the books just yet. Our first clean restart will be waiting until about lap 67 for the point we go green. We went under yellow at lap 57. So a bit of a break in the action right now. Sam Nito leads, Cody Smith is in second, and we'll be waiting to get the racing back on the way as Nicholas Ward continues to get more time in, getting his laps back as his hardware malfunction now looks to have paid him a few dividends. He would have been in that battle. Might have gotten wrecked on the restart too. He's got a clean machine, and now getting all of these laps back, it will give him a chance to fight up front once more. A lot of time remains in this race. Not the time to quit and put your head down. The only time to keep on digging and trying to get up to the front is the big goal for the number 97. Still, more than half the race ahead of us. As they come around this time by, pace car, lights are still on, so we won't be going green just yet. Pace car will be for the normal duration, not a shortened caution flag. It's going to be Nicholas Ward, and now it looks like the 19 of Randy Fiash, both going around together to get laps back, and they will be on the lead lap in due time. Fiash 6 down, now Nicholas Ward only 2 down, and Mike Maddox finds himself 1. lap behind the number 30 machines. We'll see what it is to be of him and the remainder of these lappers, as Cody Smith already side by side with your race leader in Sam Nito. Double file up front. Rest of your field remains one by one as the yellow flag out for the second time tonight. And most drivers right now on a new set of Goodyear rubber, but Don Stevenson is going to be the man who leads the new trend in the back of the field. He's on the newest set of Goodyear rubber, a one-lap stint for the man in that number 47. Same for Kyle Cooper, Alan Dobbs, Guillermo Alvarez, and Ryan Farrell. They all came down a pit this time by, and it looks like they're going to try something different. Maybe their hope is that this lack of age in the tire is going to help them. It's a slight advantage, but maybe in the long run it becomes a bit more. That's the intention and the expectation for your drivers outside of the top 10 right now. Outside of the top 12, that is, as well, as Stevenson currently is scored in 13th. Lap 66, side by side, we will be going green at 67. So after a 10-lap stint under yellow, let's get back to the racing here, and hopefully we're not done just yet getting long runs in. First run, 56 laps worth, then back-to-back yellows. Now, the rest of the race is upon us. Seth Wells swerving around with his tires right there, trying to get a bit warmth of him, and it looks like that warmth he's looking for, he's going to try to find it through that swerve, and it is evident now the shade is making its way to all portions of the track. Sun is setting, it's an orange glow across the entirety of the sky here in Nashville, and it's only going to get more apparent until the lights go out and the stadium lights go on. Track temperatures are dropping, maybe the tire temps will drop temporarily as well, but as the racing gets back into full swing, I'm certain we'll see some more warmth and more expectations of losing grip rather than keeping the same lap after lap low speed pacing we've seen very recently. First restart this time by the pace cars off, and Sam even gets a huge start to lead them in. We're back underway here in Nashville. And Seth Noel going to be now in fourth as Sam Newton gets a tremendous start in the remainder of the field. Take a look up front, the number 2 able to make some time, cut through, get that advantage, and now Ross Cater going to be scored in second with Cody Smith right there with him. Part of the field, it is still beaten. There's multiple multi-lane battles going on right now, side by side. Guys like Stevenson not afraid to go at it. Tom Wetmore with Kyle Trudell, and now Seth Noel going to get into that top 3 as he finds himself right behind the Ross Cato machine coming through 1 and 2. They're working their way down the backstretch immediately thereafter. Number 9 machine sees the 18 working right behind him, and he's going to try to make his way through the number 12. The field has been shifted just a bit. New guys up front, new guys in the back, and they'll all be trying to get up to the top spot very soon. But Sam Nito trying to keep his perfect race so far. 69 laps in. It's been a nice one indeed to lead every single lap around the circuit. He's looking to keep that the same way. 69 in, a big shuffle there for Cody Smith that time by. He's now going to go way back, 3 wide to B, and Tom Wetmore gets a spot on the both of them. Now Wetmore going to be in 4th, Kyle Trudell is in 5th, and the sun only glowing in the back bumpers of these machines now as they come across the front stretch again. Tom Wetmore took him 3 and reaps the benefits 70 laps in here in Nashville. Fantastic racing so far. You can see Cody Smith going to be able to make it work now with Jacob Fife right there on his outside. 18 machine's got it down low. That's the big advantage when it comes to the corners. You can lunge it in and lunge it in nice and easy. That's going to be the expectation under the number 18 machine, but he won't do that this time. Looks like Fife simply has too much speed out the corner to contend. Corey Canales going to be there on the 84 machine working with Brad Patton. Patton down low, the number 84 machine going to be right there in tow. And now they'll be side by side as well. The sun is setting, but the night is young when it comes to exciting racing. The number 84 machine knows that himself, but look who else is up front. Now it's going to be Ross Cato going for lead for the first time, and the number 12 making it a side-by-side battle between Mustangs. Seth Noel looking to play God here and use his draft and his influence to maybe pick and choose until these guys let him go. They'll be 3 wide, almost there. 9 machine backs off. Good to see it. And now we'll see a new leader for the first time all race long. Ross Cato leads lap number 71. And just like that, a new force to be reckoned with. Ross Cato looking for his first career win in the Integrity Octane Series, and it could come here tonight. On the Nashville Superspeedway, we have seen many brand new winners in all the leagues we covered on FTN. Breakout races for some drivers, namely in the Highline Racing League, where some drivers from Integrity compete. It was Caleb Morse who got it done for his first of 2 wins most recent season. That was his breakout victory in the Next Gens after a dismal season 14, turning it around very early. Took it to Music City. Well, tonight, Sam Nito looking to make it so there's no underdog story. He wants the checkered flag for himself. And after all that he's put on so far, looking to mathematically lock in the most laps led award. Just has to lead about 3 more to make that so. Now, Nito up high. It is going to be Ross Cato down low. Number 2 machine trying to build that groove, warm it up, and make it work during the nighttime. But it does not seem to be sticking right now. The momentum down the backstretch is all that he's got as he comes around once again. Looks like the number 12. Now your new race leader by about a car length once again. Take a look at Sam Nito working his way off once more, but he does not have enough speed to settle the score. Top 3 shuffled big. Seth Wells in 3rd. Sam Nito's now 2nd, and Ross Cato, their new race leader, has them at the halfway mark, trying to get that quote-unquote halfway bonus. 75 in, 75 to go. It has been fantastic so far for the number 12, getting the lead at the most opportune time. And in day-to-night races, as we usually say on FTN and in most racing, if you are the fastest driver before the sun sets, you most likely won't be the fastest driver when the checkered flag falls. It's a simple thing about racing in terms of condition. Track conditions change drastically depending on what is seen in the outside environment. If it's sunny, if it's rainy, if it's day, if it's night, if it's warm, if it's frigid, does not matter. Some drivers just prefer other things. And that's all right for most. Number 12 machine knows what he prefers right now. The nighttime environment coming real good for him. And for Nashville Superspeedway, the fans packing the virtual stands, seeing an incredible race right now. Cato barely has the lead. It's a 0.2 of a second advantage. But take a look at the mid-pack. They're multiple lanes wide. Take a look at Kyle Trudell, the rookie, holding off a big portion of the field. And now we'll see drivers on the wall. Ross, Max, and the yellow flag falls for a nasty multi-car incident. 77 laps in, we've got ourselves another yellow flag. And a huge hit for Kevin Matz. And we'll take a look at what just happened here as another hard impact instant replay on the matter. Let's take a look. Cautions out for the 2nd independent time, 3rd time overall. And you'll see Bobby Ross bumped in the corner. Does not take it all too well. Comes back up. Kevin Matz clipped by Jorge Canales. And the 84 machine then catches Nicholas Ward. And that looks to be his night. The front bumper, the hood, both gone. And the number 97 gets the worst of it. How's about we take a look, trying to see what happened to him because he gets really messed up. Instant replay from the hood camera of the number 97. And taken up to the wall, nasty hit, the worst of which, and the motor did blow. That is the race for the number 97, taken out very early on that note. Just like that, Nicholas Ward sees his night end with a motor blowing hit to the outside wall. Seth Wells scores your race leader now, 20 laps into his tire stint, and Nicholas Ward currently on pit road as we stand. Number 9 up in front, 79 laps in, time beginning to run out, and that distracts us from the fact that we only have a total of 72 laps remaining. We're past the halfway point, and not without a huge wreck there. That's going to take us away from the big thing here. Drivers are running out of laps, and it looks like they're running out of sunlight as well. Seth Well, new race leader, and it looks like he'll have Guillermo Alvarez, Ryan Farrell, and Kyle Cooper saving tires with him. Off pit road, the winner will be Jacob Fife, followed by Ross Cato and Sam Nito. Tom Wetmore not too far behind with Kyle Trudeau, 5th man off of pit road. So now a big change in the complexion. Some drivers changing their strategy, looking to save tires until the very end of this race. They don't want to burn it out early, have that advantage later. You want to see a yellow flag if you're one of these guys. But if you are a driver like Fife, Cato, Nito, Wetmore, you want all green from this point onward. You want to make sure you get the most out of your tires early and stretch that out for the remaining portion of the race. That might be the way to go for the guys like the number 36 right now. Look to be going back green at lap number 82, which will leave us just about 69 laps to go. And the number 9 machine, Seth Well, has clawed his way up to the front of the field. The first time he's leading all night long. And it looks like that number 9 machine has a lot more in mind than the current lap that we are on. Focusing on the finish. He's not been in the lead all race long already. Clawing up from 8th on the qualifying grid to this point. As it stands, it looks like got a little more in the tank in this tire stint. Maybe next one is the one where he will come out and have a much better run. Waiting for that long term, that is the way to get it done. And just like that, number 9 machine has himself an alternate strategy. Guillermo Alvarez 2, Ryan Farrell, and Kyle Cooper, the only 4 holding out right now, on the lead lap at least, with Jacob Fife in 5th. Wanted Goons and Chad rooting for their drivers, I believe one of which, of course, going to be the number 37 of Trevor Drago, and Colin Gidman, who did not race in tonight's event, the 23rd driver registered. Nevertheless, Drago, one of the final guys on the lead lap in 15th. Looking good so far from Marconi Setup Shop and the Wanted Goons. Great to have you in chat. Hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. 71 laps to go. A lot can happen. We're just getting started. Definitely not the way this race is going to end. Simply too much to tell from this point onward. Some drivers still have one extra tire set in the garage. Some guys have used that one up already. Some drivers have damaged. Some guys are going back to their motorhome saying, we've got to rebuild that car for next week. The storylines are not over just yet. And with 70 laps to go, most of this race is over. Technically speaking, the final stretch is here and now. And the number 9, Sethwell, leading the way with that Red Bull 83 right there. Top 2 drivers on that front row, of course. Then we got the Amoco number 93 and the Swedish Fish number 73 in the second row. Then from there on out, we of course have Ross Cato and Jacob Fife. Your normal front runners for this night's sake, your seasoned front runners, and some new guys in between. Kyle Trudell, the rookie, remains inside the top 10. He's had a very solid race so far, looking to go for his first career top 10 and maybe top 5. He's had speed all night long. He just has to execute from this point onward. He wants a chance to come home with the checkered. Let's get it once again. Going to be a second restart of the night. 81 laps in. Green flags back out once more in Nashville. And Seth Well now has that big jump off the exit of corner number 2, leading the way with Ryan Farrell right there behind. Alvarez going to be in 3rd with Jacob Fife now clawing immediately up into 4th. It looks like the new tires are already coming through, and we're going to see a big shift in the running order just like that. 69 laps to go. Nice race so far for all your drivers contending up ahead. And it looks like now Jacob Fife looking to make some waves. Right on board with your number 36 machine to see what he's up to. And Jacob Fife, the cornering speed is the big piece of the puzzle when it comes to those tires. You'll see how much quicker he can get into the corners and use that exit to make it by spot after spot. He just has more traction on the corner, and he's going to be able to use it now. Going up to the high side on the number 83, Alvarez lays down low, and he will try to make it tricky for Fife, but it looks like Jacob's got a little bit too much power to make it a clearance, or does he? A big move for Guillermo Alvarez to get back up there, and just like that, the number 36 machine has himself the 4th spot uncontested, but not for him in a good way. He wants to contest for 3rd. Tom Wetmore now making it by the number 73. Looks like as tires are beginning to warm up, more drivers with a new set are coming into their own, looking to make it a bit more troublesome for those who are already on their older sets. 66 laps remaining. Tom Wetmore finds himself in 5th with Kyle Cooper there just beside him. Now behind him as Ross Cato looks to do the bidding of the number 51 in the same vein. 12 machine goes down and in, makes it nice and easy, and Guillermo Alvarez and the remainder of your guys on old rubber have not given in just yet. Looks like for the number 73, he was the driver they sacrificed to keep that position. Nothing else for these guys at the moment. 36 machine is going to be stuck landlocked in between drivers on new rubber and old, simply not able to push it past Alvarez, Farrell, and Seth Well just yet. 65 laps remaining. That time by, Seth Well was in fact slower than the leading drivers, but only by 1/10 of a second. Looks like he's banking on the fact we did not get all too many green flag laps with this set of rubber. Maybe using that to his advantage right now as the mid-pack goes side by side once again. Kyle Trudell and Don Stevenson fighting for ninth. And Ray Bruton looking to root for the wanted goons tonight. Thank you for stopping by. Great to have you here as well. Looks like Trevor Trago right now trying to make some moves. He's behind the main pack, looking to pounce on any opportunity such as an incident that may send these guys out of control. Nice and easy, calm and consistent. That's the way it's gone for the number 37 for the wanted goons team. Right now, they're wanting a few more spots, but the night is still young. Time is still there, even if it is running out. Position still can definitely be made up. Jacob Fife, that time by, finds himself now falling to the wayside of Ross Cato, and Cato's going to be able to make it happen. Nice move for the man of number 12. He is quick, and he is making waves. Last lap, he was 0.3 of a second faster than Jacob Fife. That is a major difference, and they're on the same set of rubber. That's how good the number 12 is right now. Nice, easy movement for the number 12, taking it up into 5th, but now the old tire brigade is what he's got to work with. Only Tom Wetmore seems to have that edge. Tom Wetmore, the number 51 machine, finds himself now in the 3rd spot, able to make it by the barrier of Guillermo Alvarez, and Ryan Farrell is now the next man up. 24 laps old his tire stint is, and that is much older, 14 laps older than the one that Tom Wetmore currently has on display. Well has been on the tires that he's running for the longest out of any other driver, 31 laps. They've aged, and they've aged well. He's still the race leader, and he still is there by convincing margin over Ryan Farrell. And as long as Farrell can hold off Tom Wetmore, Wetmore doesn't get up to that pack bumper, he's got a chance to keep the lead and gain even more in terms of the laps lead marker. Just trying to make sure he can log him down until that checkered flag falls in now just about 60 laps time. 60 to go with 91 laps in the books here in Nashville Superspeedway, and the nighttime skies are as evident as they can get. The sun is down, it's a hazy orange and blue mixture up in front, and the stadium lights are indeed on. Night lighting is going to come into full effect real soon. The lap 100 marker was the estimate of the sunset, and it looks like we're a few laps early, giving more drivers a chance to acclimate themselves, and maybe some are better with this condition. Like we mentioned, Ross Cato looked pretty good with it, and still looks good right now, but that number 12 held up the same way Fife and Sam Nito are by that number 83. The Red Bull machine has not given in just yet. It's clear, though, the 83 is slowing these guys down and slowing them down big. Now, 0.3 of a second separate from the number 51, Guillermo Alvarez is, and it looks like Ross Cato gives his all and gives in. Now it's going to be Nito dropping down to the inside line to make that offensive approach on the number 83 work. But both go in, those 4 Mustangs do, and able to make it by, giving Jacob Fife the easy way in if he so chooses to use it, and it looks like he will. Now Fife's going to be right there with him as Wetmore comes real close to Ryan Farrell, and now he's there, side by side, down to the inside line. Ryan Farrell now going to be in 3rd. Tom Wetmore gets the runner-up spot, and it's going to be the battle of the most winning drivers of this season. Seth Well in 1st, and Tom Wetmore in 2nd. It'll be fitting for either of these drivers to become the first winner of the second half, but now it's all about the direct head-to-head battle. Who will it really be when the checkered flag falls at lap number 150? Wetmore, new tires, he's got the advantage in the short term, but he also has a bit of damage on that front end. Take a close-up look. As you can see, there is something indeed poking off to the left side of that number 51. Speaking of damage, looks like Kyle Trudell in a bit of trouble. He'll fade back, but it looks like nothing more than a slip and slide to fall back into position number 14. Trudell looks to still be good as it stands, but nevertheless, we'll take a 30-second instant replay and see what happens to the rookie who's been running top 10 all night long. And Alan Dobbs takes them both down to the inside. Dobbs spins. No worry. He's going to be able to get it straight. Trudell loses a lot of time, and Alan Dobbs loses much more. Now it's going to be Alan in 16th. Kyle Trudell is there in position number 14, and that's a huge gain for drivers like Jorge Canales, Cody Smith, and Kyle Cooper. Trevor Trago now inside the top 10 as a result of that incident. Up in front, 0.2 of a second to separate your top two drivers with 55 laps to go. It's going to be Wetmore right up high, trying to use a different line on that second group to maybe make something happen and get up to the number 9. Does not make it stick, at least for now. However, he's getting closer lap after lap, and that's putting more pressure on that number 9 to continue to push further with the equipment he's got, which is not a good thing if you're Seth Well. Those tires can only last for so much longer. They've only got so much more in terms of grip, in terms of speed and performance. If you go over the limit, you will be in big trouble, and it's going to show sometime soon. However, for Seth Well, his big thing has been managing his races and managing them with calm precision. That's the way he's gone about it so far this season. And that's the way he hopes to continue it. 53 laps to go this time by. It's Wetmore in second still. Ryan Farrell there in third. Sam Nito in fourth. Ross Cater going to be fifth, and Jacob Fife in sixth with Don Stevenson seventh and Brad Patton in eighth. Now Stevenson and Jacob Fife battling side by side, and down to the inside, the 47 goes. They'll not make contact, but Don's got himself a plan, and he'll try to take that spot, and it looks like he's all but complete in the pass. Close. No cigar that time by. That's a real close move. Number 36 almost rubs on the quarter panel, giving Brad Patton, ever the opportunistic driver, the chance to go for the position himself. And now letting the door wide open to the number 1. It's going to give another chance to Brad Patton and his Marconi setup shot machine. Patton dives down low, got a shot there in number 36 as Seth Well leads him down to a triple-digit marker. Make it lap 100. Seth Well's got himself 51 more laps to pilot it around the circuit. 51 laps to go, 100 laps in. It is Seth Well leading the way on Wetmore second. Sam Neal third, and Ross Cato in fourth. Position number 5 is occupied by Ryan Farrell, and Don Stevenson is in sixth. Jacob Fife is in now the 8th spot as Brad Patton gets behind 7th. The fan favorite Brad Patton now gets that top 7 spot. Fife, as we mentioned, is in 8th. Guillermo Alvarez is in 9th, and Cody Smith, as it stands, is in 10th. And for Next Level Racing, 50 laps to go. We'll bring you your second promotional break of the night. As always, brought to you by Next Level Racing, a proud supporter of the Integrity Racing League for high-quality sim racing performance products, courtesy of the Next Level Racing team for dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best. Visit nextlevelracing.com for all new offers, brand new cockpit. It is portable and affordable. If you want to check it out, visit nextlevelracing.com after tonight's broadcast. We'll be right back after this brief message, courtesy of Next Level Racing. That was your second Next Level Racing promotional break of the night. Back to the action live on FTN, and it is Cody Smith carrying the Next Level Racing banner, currently scored in position number 10. 47 laps left in the circuit, and Seth Well finds himself the leader, but take a look at who's now the biggest contender. It is Sam Nito. Number 2 machine's back in action and looking real good while he's at it. Nito, now in that number 2, looking to take it down the stretch and maybe make a pass for the lead here. He's got 20 laps of newer rubber, and he's clearly faster this time by. Seth Well has not seen any contention like this, but he's going to have to face it now. Your pole sitter not here, but the man who's led the most laps all night long is Sam Nito down to the inside line once again. 46 laps left on this occasion, and the number 2 battles it down low. Coming down the stretch, once again, nighttime sky in a full effect, and it is coming into play for Sam Nito. He didn't look as good while the sun was setting, but suddenly with the nighttime lights on, it's prime time for him to shoot back up into the limelight, and look who's there as well. Ross Cato looking for his first podium in the second half. He's now working all over the back bumper of Tom Wetmore, trying to make it happen as they're rubbing doors side by side, trading some paint there, and the number 2 machine trying to keep himself in the top spot. They're side by side, coming through with 45 laps to go. Nito dives it down low once again. He knows he's got all that momentum, all the newer tire. He's got grip, he's got speed, but Seth, well, he's had the lead for quite a while. He knows how to handle it and how to defend for it. Side by side at the line again. Nito barely loses that lap to Noel. It's so close, you couldn't put a toothpick in between these two. Still, as close as it gets, side by side. Take a look on board with Tom Wetmore here. Watch the battle. There's another driver looking to pounce. And the number 51 watching this dead even battle with 44 laps remaining. The rub once again. Contact, it is no stranger to these two. And Noel is oh so close to the end of the wall. Close to tapping it, but he's not afraid. He'll lead another lap with his daring antics, and it will keep him in this fight. Side by side, number 2 machine's got himself way down low. 9 machine's going to be there up high. They're double file coming down the back all over again. Seth Noel has been the biggest anomaly in this race. Other drivers on older tires have faded back. Farrell is in 6th, Guillermo Alvarez is in 10th, and Kyle Cooper is in 14th. And through it all, on old rubber, the man in the number 9 is still your race leader, and convincingly so, fending off one of the strongest drivers all night long and getting himself back in the top spot once again. Fantastic effort from the number 9 machine in Seth Well to be able to lead it once more, and now he's got himself an edge with 42 laps remaining. Time running out. It's good for him. Very bad for Nito. Maybe he's given all he's got as Ross Cato goes around for 3rd. A new challenger is approaching, and maybe this is the one that knocks the number 9 off of his throne. The big thing about this race, and it has been like this very recently in the Integrity Racing League, what does it take to knock this kid off the top charts? It looks like the top of the charts have been his home for about 5 races straight. He's been able to make win after win, and the ovals have not even been his strongest suit all season long. He had 1 win at Iowa, taken away on a penalty, jumping the final restart. That sent him back a victory. Was able to rattle off 2 before the end of the first half, and now after winning the All-Star race in convincing fashion on the final run, now the number 9 machine's got a chance to go all the way with 40 laps remaining and drivers still hounding him. The pressure is on, but he's living for the moment once again. 40 to go for the man in the number 9, looking to show that he's still got what it takes on old Goodyear rubber. Don Stevenson now in 5th, looking to get by Tom Wetmore. He's close, not close enough to make a pass just yet though, as Brad Patton goes down to the inside line on Ryan Farrell. And Farrell now going to have to wait back. The Amoco number 93 caught up in the act, and Brad Patton, who's been oh so aggressive and opportunistic in this run, takes another chance, and it's going to pay off once again. That's the big game about Brad Patton's driving style. Not necessarily aggressive, but if the door opens at all and he can sense it, he will go for the taking. That's the way it's been with all his driving this season. Every chance he gets, he will take. Very good at what he can do in that number 1 machine, and he's looking to prove it once again. With 38 remaining, he's now looking for the top 5, which is now a battle between the 51 and 47. Stevenson down low, once more, looking to make it happen. Does not make it work. He gets crossed up and crossed up big. 47 lays back there as the 51 still has it up high. And Stevenson there, looking for the spot, gets it. 37 laps to go, it's now going to be his. Seth Noel leads him through 1 and 2, down the back all over again. He's now going to face lap traffic. The first lapper he'll face looks to be Bobby Ross. Not his night, he's 22 seconds down. He'll be up next. for the leaders, but it looks like as well he's also got Kevin Matz and Randy Fiash to look out for, and they're the closest of which to the number 9 machine. Maybe these lappers will come into play as Sam Nito building up a head full of steam once again, and when the 2 is on a hot run, he cannot be stopped. 36 laps remaining, and the number 9's got himself a run off the backstretch, a run that will carry him down all the way closer and closer to both Kevin Matz and Randy Fiash. They're right there, right ahead, and they could be a sign of trouble for this number 9 machine, as they're only about a few seconds off of coming into the path of your race leaders. Ross Cato, currently in 3rd, running a very good race, silent for the most part, but he's still made up a lot of time, put himself in a good position, and now with lappers right ahead of the leaders, this could get dicey. Fiash gonna stay up high. Seth Well goes down low. Take a look on board as now it's gonna be Sam Nito's job to get by the 19. And Sam Nito also going to be able to get in that one easily as Guillermo Alvarez is down the pit road. Number 83 might be going in for the first pit stop of the night under green for competitive reasons. Now, making his way in, that's going to be a surprise for certain, but that gives us reason to believe we might see some pit stops for those on the different strategy, of course, of holding on for all they had. And for Seth, well, that's going to be bad news because he comes in 34 laps before the race is over. What's that going to be for the number 9 who's on the old rubber and has not given in just yet? It's going to mean some bad news. Pit stop costs him a lot of time, and the other drivers are not guaranteed to need one anymore. Maybe they don't even have any more rubber in the tank to make it happen. 33 laps remaining, time running out, and now pit strategy coming into play. It's going to get dicey here as Guillermo Alvarez makes his way out. Quick stop for him, 41.6 seconds, and it's one of the very first we've seen all night long happening under green. Well, might have to think about this too. Keep an eye out for Kyle Cooper and Ryan Farrell. They're also drivers who have to come down to pit road if they're on the exact same strategy as the number 83. Not a certainty just yet per se, but they are on the same run in terms of tire, which indicates similar levels of fuel. It could be a caution that saves the number 9, but right now it looks to be very unlikely. Coming down to 31 laps to go. Seth Well gonna have to think of a Hail Mary if he's got anything left in the tank here. Number 9 has the lead, but might not have it for long the way things are going. Sam Nito, however, has faded back 1 second off. If there is any change of lead, it might not be because of a battle. The number 9's held on really well to that race lead. Number 2, simply not been able to make it happen despite the lack of rubber that 9 is presumed to have. Maybe lower track temperatures, lower wear on the tire, it gives these guys a better chance to perform as the night goes on. It is indicative of someone who really knows how to save their stuff. 62 laps in on this run. It has been a very long one for the Seth Well machine, and he knows that if he can go any longer, he will, because he's not showing any signs of losing speed or losing the ability to keep that machine under control. 30 laps to go this time by, taking it down to the 20s as Bobby Ross is now right ahead. First lap machine we've seen in just about 5 laps time. The 44 can have to make his move and go up high, letting the number 9 go right by and putting himself 1 lap down in position number 15. And just like that, another driver put down 1 lap. Next up would be Alan Dobbs in the 05 machine. Dobbs right now trailing Kyle Cooper. They're fighting now for 13th, but they are pretty far away from being put a lap down, the odds of which are quite low unless something unexplainable happens in the back of the field. Inexplicable it will be as the 05 gets by the 73 there to get it into position number 14. Seth Well in that number 9, leading him ever through lap after lap, and he has been evergreen up in the front of the field. Sam Nito, who's led the most laps tonight, is there in second, but it looks like right now he can do nothing but watch as the number 9 machine continues to pull away, and pulling away he's been able to do, except for the most recent laps. Take a look at this. Last time by, 31.02 for Seth Well. It was Sam Nito who ran a 30.61 5. That's about a half second's worth of a difference in terms of speed. Bad news if it's anything long term. It might just be the killer for the man in that number 9. After such a promising run, it might be coming down to a crashing close. As take a look at this. Nito is coming by real quick here. The path for lead might be imminent. As we watch on board with Sam Nito here, we might just see the move be made in this lap. And coming around, number 2 machine is right there in striking distance. The distance between the two drivers was just 1 second, just about 5 laps ago. Now it's 1/10 of a second. It's become much closer, and Seth, well, losing more time behind the wheel. Certainly something going wrong with that 9 machine. Tires might finally be giving out on that final stage of grip. Might be less fuel in the tank. You might have to pit. It's looking bad unless there's a yellow flag for the man at the number 9 machine. And Sam Nito, after the time he spent chasing him down, trying to make it happen aggressively, might be able to get him back just by making the strategy work out as well as it can for that number 2 Miller machine. Looking back, Ross Cato still in 3rd. Leaders are getting closer and closer. No contact just yet, but a number 2 machine knows he wants to take it in to the bottom line and just get that pass over with. Seth, well, not giving him an easy time at all, and for good reason. After all he's led so far, it's certain that if it's only just a bit of a slip-up, he's still more than able to contend. He's now brought the number 2 back into his zone and picked up the pace once more. Maybe he's got something more in it that we didn't expect. Now down at a 30.6 range once again, that number 9. And he might just be quick enough to fend him off once more after it looked like for a moment he'd have all but given up on the most recent lap. And with 23 laps remaining as it stands, we're going to crank it up next time by with 22 laps to go, courtesy of our friends at Track Cams for Gourmets and TrackCams22.com. The best cameras on the iRacing platform for over 100 cars and tracks on the iRacing service. Be sure to check out their website and their Facebook for more information, as they're the cameras we use each and every broadcast to bring you the highest quality presentations on FTN. Let's crank it up with 22 laps to go, courtesy of TrackCams22.com. And with only 18 laps to go, Seth, well, still has that lead, but it is not one he's got comfortably. Take a look on back. He's got Sam Nito right behind him and Ross Cato there as well. It's a 3-car battle for the race lead, and it's only getting closer with 18 laps left. Seth, well, able to hold on in a 74-lap tire stint older than anyone else inside the top 5. Second oldest set in the top 10 is the 8th place driver of Ryan Farrell. The number 9's held on quite well. Simply seems like he's got something else these drivers don't have. He's been able to work masterfully through his conditions. Of course, older tires are a bit of a handicap, but the number 2 machine finally making it work. Now it's going to be Sam Nito going right down low. Take a look at this. It's going to be a side-by-side battle for lead. Mustang down low, Chevy Camaro up high, and just like that, the Miller machine's got a chance to shine down low. It's going to be the number 2 leading a lap for the first time in over 50, and they door bang once. Maybe that's a sign of things to come. Side by side, roughing each other up the track. Seth Welm giving it his all. So is Sam Nito. 2 drivers at 110%, working their way down the backstretch, and now they're battling with all they've got. Coming around once again. Next time we'll make it 15 laps to go. Number 2 machines are right there for the taking, but Seth Well has that extra give, and he'll use it down the backstretch to keep himself in the lead. 15 laps to go here in Nashville. And the race for lead has just gotten started. They're door banging once again. Another big hit. Number 2 comes up at a number 9. They will hit once again. Coming down the back. It looks like they'll stay clean. No issue, no contact. But they'll be real close to one another once more. Top 5 now sees guys like Stevenson and Brad Patton way on back. Ross Cato still taking a look if anything happens. He wants to be the first man to find out. And they'll get really wiggly once again. Now it's going to be Sam Nito playing that defense game in his own right. He might not be too sure of what he's got under the hood right now. Does not look like he's able to get clear of that number 9, at least for the moment. Well, roughs up the backstretch wall. No issue. He's still got power. He's still got speed. Side by side, they still are, but no! Seth Well caught up in the outside wall, and that looks to be it. Down a pit road. He's done, and lock it down and lock it up. Number 9 machine fought for all he could. He has to come down to pit road, and it looks like Ryan Farrell follows him right in. 72 laps of full-on action for Ryan Farrell, 79 for Seth Well, and that ends the most extreme strategy attempt we've seen all season. Brady Powers rooting for the Goons, and right now they've got 1 in 4th and 1 in 9th. Double top 10 effort for the team right now with 13 laps to go, and things are still changing. Look at this new race battle for the lead, and it's Sam Nito who's now got that top spot. Ross Cato, who's been charging all night long, now just behind. And with a dozen more to do it, time is truly running out. If you want to make your move, you got to make it now. It's too much a risk to do it any later. But right now, for Sam Nito, his big goal is to make sure these drivers run out of time. So far, that they have not, though. And it still looks like there's a little more in the tank for these guys if they want to make any final moves. Down the inside line, Sam Nito goes once again, trying to hold himself in that top spot, and looking good while he's doing it so far. With him, Ross Cato, second spot, number 12 machine, right there in tow. They're fighting hard as they can get, but it's still single file. The big question is if that number 12 can get it up there and just make his way in. Lunge it, force it. We saw how aggressive Nito was there with Seth Well. He did everything in his power to make that pass happen before Seth went down a pit road. And with 10 laps to go, desperation gonna settle in. Sam Nito leading, Ross Cato second, Don Stevenson third, Brad Patton in fourth, and Jacob Fife is in fifth. Not too far behind, it is Cody Smith. Sandwich between him is Guillermo Alvarez and lap machine. But Cody Smith in the Next Level Racing machine with 10 to go scored in 6. We'll give you your final Next Level Racing promotional break of the night, courtesy of NextLevelRacing.com. For dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best, visit NextLevelRacing.com for more information after tonight's broadcast. We'll be right back in just a moment. Thank you for watching so far. The best is yet to come with 9 laps remaining here in Nashville. And after our final Next Level Racing promotional break of the night, taking it down now with only a total of 7 laps to go, battles are brewing all around and the race lead is still in contention. Sam Nito's got himself the edge, but it's still a quarter of a second on back. Ross Cato just behind. Side by side, they are further back on the circuit, but these leaders are still as close as they can get without making any contact. Number 12 machine, who looks to have been the best, especially in the nighttime conditions, finds himself very good right now in terms of track placement, but he wants that one extra spot, looking for his first career win as a driver in this league. It could come here tonight. It might as well if he can just make that one more pass. But Sam Nito, of course, not give him an easy time, not in the slightest. He's still fighting for his own victory. It could be his race as well, and so far it's been his race, leading the most laps, at least 100 of which, and he's going to try to take it to that number and then some, as he now only has a final 5 laps remaining here in Nashville, similar to what we saw in the real world. Chastain getting that lead late, Martin Truex chasing, but to no avail. Maybe it's time to flip the script, change history, and make it your own. Ross Cato looking to rewrite the books here and get this win, pushing through at the last second here in Nashville. He's still in good tow. Maybe there's just enough time to make it happen, but we're not quite sure just yet. Stevenson's in third, got by the 73 lap machine. Brad Patton is in fourth, and he's there by a healthy margin. Jacob Fife remains inside the top 5. Top 5 is all but settled unless there's a major mistake. Closest battle on the racetrack is your leading battle. Actually, there's only one more even closer. It's for 6th. Now, Cody Smith looking to get up to Jacob Fife and make something work. Getting closer and closer, but it looks like to no avail as well. It's become very tricky to pass. Maybe not enough in the tank there for the number 18. Likewise for the number 12. Ross Cato fading back a bit further, trying everything he's got. And it looks like it's only losing him time. He goes up to the second groove, gets more momentum, to no avail. Now 0.6 of a second back. He's running out of time, and Seth Well is running out himself. He's 1 lap down, trying to salvage anything he can get as he's hunting down with a vengeance the guys ahead of him. Guillermo Alvarez notably 1 lap down, and so is Kyle Cooper. There's a battle for the last man on the lead lap, and the battle for last man 1 lap down. Of course, these drivers want every position. Brad Patton not too far behind. He might get involved in this battle himself. Jacob Fife in 5th, side by side with Noel, and it looks like Seth gets right by him. Lonesome Trevor Drago is. Jorge Canales alone as well, but as they come down to the white flag, this time by Sam Nito, he's not been alone all night long, but he's going to try to separate himself with only 1.3 miles to go here in Nashville. And the final lap in what has to be his best performance so far this season. The number 2 machine looking to come back to the second half of this season with a bang, and he has done exactly what he's needed to do, leading the most laps, over 100 of which, clawing that lead back from a hard-charging Seth Well, and making the right calls to come home at the end. A winner, round 16, welcomes us back to the Octane Series, and Sam Nito welcomes himself back to victory lane with a victory here from Music City. Sam Nito with a dominating performance all night long, able to turn it back on when it matters most and get back up front at the very late stages of this race. The number 2's back in victory lane, and tonight looked to be his from the get-go. A fantastic run for the number 2, able to get it done. Huge win for him. Ross Cato, fantastic on second, and a huge recovery for Don Stevenson as Stevenson comes home third after a very early incident that dropped him outside of the top 15. Take a look at your results page. Sam Nito wins by 1 second over Ross Cato, with Don Stevenson there in third, as we mentioned, and Brad Patton finishing 4th from 12th on the grid, looking to be your hard charger for the night. It was also right there with him, Jacob Fife in 5th, Cody Smith in 6th, and 17 seconds down, Tom Wetmore in position number 7. Jorge Canales comes home in 8th with Trevor Trago in the 9th spot from 20th on the board, and rounding out the top 10, the rookie in his first race, Kyle Trudell from 7th On the grid, Alan Dobbs is your final man on the lead lap, 28 seconds down, as Ryan Farrell finishes one lap down with Guillermo Alvarez 13th, one down two. It is Seth Well 14th and Kyle Cooper 15th, with Randy Fish 16th, Bobby Ross 17th, Kevin Matz 18th, Victor Avila Felix 19th, and Nicholas Ward, your pole sitter, in 20th. From there on out, we've got Mike Maggs 21st, Matt Jonas in 22nd, and Ben Gollin-Gibbon in position number 23 as Sam Nito burns down the house. And Sam Nito burning down the house here at the Nashville Superspeedway. Gotta thank all the fans in chat, Juana Goons, Ray Bruton, Brady Powers, Nancy Wetmore. A fantastic outing for the man in that number 2 as he burns it down, now putting it in the grass to get a bit more as he limps it down into pit road. A fantastic outing for the man in that number 2 as he takes his car off the circuit. That will be it on a dominant performance all night long here in Nashville. Coming around with the checkered flag tonight, Sam Nito back to victory lane, getting it done, and it looked like nobody was on his level all throughout. And once again, coming home a winner, and to kick off the second half of the season, it's a great way to do it as a winner. Sam Nito's got that honor tonight. How do you feel after a long, hard night here in Music City?
Feel good. A little tired, a little sweaty, but it's a hot night here in Nashville.
And a hard-fought race for every driver here tonight. I'll tell you this much. It looked like you had it from the very beginning, leading all those laps, putting the strategy to work. What was the big thing, the most important thing? Was it all those laps led, or was it just making it happen late to get you that victory? A lot of battles all throughout, but you kept yourself up in front.
I don't know. This is a good track for me. I've got a knack for it. I feel like I know how not to burn up the fronts. So just being patient whenever I had to battle Seth there, just knowing that he wasn't going to make it on fuel, so I could back off and let him drag me around the track in 5th gear to save a couple laps of fuel helped a lot. Ross was putting heat on and I had to go, and it's hard getting by Seth there, but he eventually had to pit. Glad we stayed green. Otherwise, that probably would have ended differently.
And it all came down to that strategy call earlier in the race. Of course, we saw a long run to get us to the end there. A bit of a gamble for all these drivers to see what worked out. The newer tires versus the old. What was the big reason behind your choice there? Because it seems to be the winning one.
It was inside the fuel window. If you're inside the fuel window, it's a gamble not to pit. I mean, we don't have a full field here, so the probability of going green was higher than the probability of a caution in my estimation. So pack it full of fuel and you can go to the end. So I mean, I guess it's a gamble either way. I still had one set of tires left, so if a caution did come out late, I wasn't going to be dead. But yeah, I'd rather have been on the side of having enough fuel instead of having to make a green flag stop there, and it turned out to be the difference in the race.
And the race difference maker comes your way. Strategy works out to come home a winner to kick off the second half of the season. Of course, always great to get that victory, make the statement to get us back on the way here in Nashville Superspeedway. Back to the intermediates this week, but as we open our schedule, race 17, of course, going to take us to a different circuit. We're taking a look at the schedule right about now. 16th race, Nashville, but we're trying to take a look right now. It's giving us a bit of trouble. Now we've got a good look at it. Next race, it will be at New Hampshire. How's it going to be tackling the Magic Mile next Tuesday night?
I think I'd rather throw myself in the ocean than drive that track again. I won't be seeing y'all next week.
There we have it, simply put. Won't be seeing our defending winner, but all is well for him. Locked into the playoffs regardless. As a winner again, Sam Nito back in victory lane. Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank you guys putting on this broadcast. Jacob with the league, Don, all the admins, Tom, Cody. It was fun to get back here racing, and can't wait to finish out the season.
And there we have it. Sam Nito comes home the winner here in Nashville Superspeedway.
Yeah, sorry. I'd like to congratulate Ross on a really good run there. I think I told him in the race session, but it's a hell of a run for Ross. He really made me drive hard there at the end.
Well, there we have it. Sam Nito battling Ross Cato all the way there to the end. Eventually, man who gets it home as a winner in round 16. Thank you for your time.
All right, thanks.
And there we have it. Sam Nito going to be on his way coming home as your race winner. And right behind him, as he mentioned, the man in that number 12 machine who was able to get it done at the end of 150 laps. And that would be Ross Cato in the number 12 machine. Second place, battled as hard as you could and came home with the podium. How do you feel after 150 laps?
Well, my wrists hurt and I'm pretty sweaty, but yeah, it was a fun race. Had some challenges, of course, but couldn't really figure out what the game plan was with Sam. The dude's just such a phenomenal driver, and just really knew how to drive it from center off the corner. So, but yeah, disappointed I didn't win, but I'm really glad to be finishing this well.
And it's a great performance to come back to this season with, clawing through the field and eventually becoming a consistent threat for the later portion of the race. Making it through was the big thing there on that final restart, able to navigate all the traffic with the old tire drivers and eventually inserting yourself in the late race battle. Was that the ticket to your success?
Yeah, I'm usually on the very much losing end on tire strategy, so it was good that wasn't the case this time. And I just had to be patient with trying to plot the right line to dive underneath guys that had older tires, and was trying to figure out what the fuel situation was with Seth Noel, and just trying to conserve my tires and make sure that I didn't do anything ill-advised so that I could be there at the end.
And it looks like the number 12 machine was able to make it there to the end. Was there anything more you think you could have done there fighting for that win?
Not so much. I did try shifting down to third. I just could not understand how Nieto could, launch off the corner the way he did. That didn't work. So my final lunge at him was really all that I had left, and tried my hardest, but I'm very happy with the podium. And I would rather be in a position to be locked into the playoffs with a win. But like you said before, the consistency is another way to get to the playoffs. So hopefully we can keep this momentum up and just try to do our best and launch our way into the playoffs.
And there we have it, putting it down as a very solid start to the second half. Next up is New Hampshire. Think we'll see some more success in number 12?
I think so. I really like rhythm tracks. I think that I've been a lot better at being patient behind the wheel, especially on long runs, and discipline with throttle control and with brake input. And I'm really gotten used to the driving styles of a lot of these drivers. And I think it's going to make for a great race, especially with the stage cautions and the pit strategy. And I've been doing a lot of practice with New Hampshire because it's in the recent rearview mirror with the NASCAR schedule. So hopefully that practice can pay off, and we can possibly get another podium and maybe tick up one more spot on the pylon.
And looking to continue to success after a solid run here. Second place on the board in Nashville. Ross Cato, any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Thanks a lot to my wife, who has been very supportive with me racing. And thank you to my friend and spotter, Galen Goodman, for helping to navigate me through the field and let me know some vital information about the competitors around me. Thank you for putting on this broadcast. It's great to go back and watch it after the fact. And thank you for iRacing for having such a wonderful platform for us to compete on.
And there we have it. Ross Cato able to put it all to work tonight, and a second place finish he gets here for the Nashville Superspeedway. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Good night.
And there we have it. Ross Cato going to be back on his way with the final man in your top three being Don Stevenson. A up and down race for him, but eventually came up on the high side as the number 47 recovers from early race trouble to finish here in third tonight. How do you feel after this one?
Relieved to have it over with. I mean, I felt like I was a ping pong ball the whole race there. I mean, I was, front, back, I think I was involved in every wreck tonight, and probably caused every wreck tonight. But, car was fast. I mean, just, I can't believe I didn't have more damage than what I did after the restart wreck, because I hit Ryan pretty hard, and I pitted and thinking that I had a lot of nose damage, but ended up having no damage. I was like, okay, so I just pitted for nothing. But happy to get third place out of this.
And able to come home with a very solid result despite ups and downs. I think we caught on the broadcast as well. Navigating it all with all that trouble, what was it that really took you from that troublesome overall race to a strong finish?
I had really good long run speed. I had put some good settings in it where, made it, I could sort of keep close on a short run. It was a little bit slower probably, but with the opinion I was running, but it was really good on the long run where I could just get a launch, on center exit off of really good off of 1 and 2. 3 and 4 was a little bit tougher with the bump there off of 4. But I mean, that was pretty much the difference maker for me tonight.
And it looks like everything that made the difference led to a very positive run at the end of the day. Great recovery there. And I think you're looking to put this one in the rearview mirror and move on to the Magic Mile in New Hampshire. 151 laps there. Can we see some more of the number 47?
I hope so. I won there last year. New Hampshire's one of my favorite tracks. If I can get comfortable with the car during the week, practicing and stuff, and hopefully we can give it a run next week, but it's going to be tough to beat Seth and Sam. I mean, and Wetmore and, all the guys, like they're all really, really fast. Even if you have everything dialed in perfect, they could just outdrive you and everything. So it's definitely going to be tough, but give it our best shot next week.
There we have it. Don Stevenson looking to build on an overall successful night in terms of results. Number 47 comes home with a podium. Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank my wonderful wife. Allows me to race every week. I'm sure she'll be listening and everything. Want to thank the admin team, everyone with Integrity Racing. Thank you there. Thank you for broadcasting and everything. Thank Next Level Racing for sponsoring the league and everything. They have some great products there and everything. Looking forward to buying some of their great stuff at the end of the season here. But I guess other than that, that should be it.
And there we have it. Don Stevenson, the number 47 machine, rebound for a top 3 finish to open the second half of the season. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And there we have it. That is your podium for tonight's event here in round 16 for the Nashville Superspeedway. Sam Nito comes home with a dominant victory, able to get it done in our first race since late May. How about that one? The number 2 machine coming home on top. And we thank all our viewers for watching this race. We'll be back live tomorrow night with the Ford Cup Series as they head to New Hampshire as well. Ironically, same combination for only about 21 less miles to Spice the Dimes 130 will be tomorrow night at 9 Eastern. If you enjoy the Next-Gen Racing, we'd love to have you there. Always a great show on the Foro side of things. Wednesday nights at 9, as we have said beforehand. We thank you for watching once again, and as always, I've been your host for tonight's broadcast, David Kreutz. Thank y'all for your support. From our studios to your homes, we hope to see you whenever live once again on FTN. Thank y'all, and we hope you have a great night.